Hey guys, for this project we're going to be creating a coral reef collage using watercolor paint. It's going to have several steps, so what I've done is broken it up into multiple videos. I want you to watch each video, do that portion, and then watch the next video and continue on. That way you're not watching all of these instructions and then trying to remember what we talked about. I'll be here to help you as you need help. Good luck, have fun, and let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is my background. So I just need a full page of cardstock or of a thick paper. If you have tape, I'm going to recommend that you tape down along the edges and tape it to your table. I don't have tape this morning, so I'm going to go ahead and do it anyways. I'm going to get some water on my brush. Let me move my water so you can see it a little bit better. I get some water on my brush, and I'm just going to put some clear water on my paper. I'm going to paint it with water to begin with. Then you're going to find, you put a little bit more water and get some blue, that it will run real smoothly where you've already put all that water. I'll kind of run and bleed. Notice that I'm going side to side, not up and down. The currents are going to push the water side to side, and so we're going to mimic that with our brush strokes. We also want to make sure we've got some darks and lights, a lot of really good value in there. You do not want them to be one solid color. You can add some purples in there. You can add green, teal if you've got it. Think about the colors that you see when you go to the ocean. Also realize that you do not have to pick up water every single time. You pick up some paint and then go back and get water every 2 or 3 times that you go to pick up paint. The more paint, less water, the darker. The more water, less paint, the lighter. Should get a full value scale. Once you're finished with that, set it off to the side and let it dry completely before you do anything else. Since this is a collage, I now need to make me some sand. So to begin with, I'm going to pick up some orange and start to create me some sand to be at the bottom of the ocean, or to be the bottom of the coral even. And I don't want this to be super smooth, so I'm going to let there be some brush strokes. The last time I went swimming, I didn't see perfectly smooth sand. This next piece of paper is going to be my coral, and so I'm going to paint it in a few different colors. I'm going to do some purple, and that needs to be front and back. So I'll start on the front with some purple, then I'm going to move on to some bright coral color, the kind of orangey red color, and then I'm going to move on and do a little bit of green to represent some seaweed. I want these to be really bright, vibrant colors because we're going to be using them to create the coral reef part of our collage. So make sure you're flipping it over on the back. You need to do both sides. Be sure that they line up. So make sure that if you're doing purple on one side, that the flip side is also purple and not orange, that you didn't flip the paper over incorrectly. So just pay close attention while you do this, and then we'll let it dry completely before the next step. Alright, now we're going to actually make our coral reef. So I'm going to cut out these different colors that I painted. I'm going to start with the purple, and I'm going to make a square or close to it. So I'm going to cut it in half. And then, let's see how big that's going to be. It's actually going to be really tall. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have 4 squares from that one. And I'm going to take a pencil roll it up. And then take a bottle of glue and put just a little dot of glue. It'll come out. Okay. Roll it back up again, and then I'm going to put just a little dot of glue to hold it. So on that corner, I'm just going to put a little dot of glue and roll it the rest of the way and hold it for just a minute, and then I will slide it off my pencil, and I will have one of what I'm going to do several little pieces. Let's see. They're going to look like this, and then I'm going to make several of them so that I can layer them since this is a collage. So I'm going to go ahead and do that several times. Okay, now I've got those. I'm going to set them to the side for right now. I'm going to cut me off some of my pretty coral, and I'm going to make some fringe on here. So I'm going to just, but I'm not going all the way down. I'm leaving myself a good little inch to half an inch, something like that, that I'm not going down on. Okay. Then I'm going to curl it around similar to what I just did with the other part. A little dot of glue. Curl it around and hold it. And while I'm holding that, I'm just going to kind of crunch up this part. This is going to be my little anemone, sea anemone, that my clownfish lives in, because he's got to have a home. So I'm going to set that to the side and let it hold, and I'm going to make a few more of those. And last but not least, I need to create my seaweed. So I'm going to cut these in half because I don't think they need to be quite so long. And cut them in little strips. And then I'm going to do something similar at the beginning, so I'm going to cut what I call a little fringe. Just don't quite cut it to the bottom. Okay. Then I'm going to do some little zigzag folds on those. Just going to fold them in different directions. You start backwards on one first one, go maybe forwards on the next. Just kind of crumple those down so that they're going to create this good little texture. Some seaweed. I actually think it'd look better if we had a couple of them and just layered them instead of doing short. So we're gonna have some seaweed. We're gonna do the same thing again. Some of the seaweed, I'm gonna take the handle of my brush and wrap it around. Get it kind of curling forward some. Kind of get it curling back some. So we've got us some fringe seaweed. And now we're going to put all of this together. But before we can do that, we need to go to Coral Reef Collage Part 2 and learn how to draw and watercolor paint our fish so that we can complete this coral reef scene.